Okay, first of all, who was doubting Time and Great's chemistry in the previous episodes? Me? When did I do that? I'm having temporary memory loss right now because I'm actually going insane over that revenge con scene. Now, second of all, I think this show is a great example of the saying, you can't outrun your fate. Regardless of the choices you make, destiny is something that cannot be altered. Despite what people say, Beyond Cloud consistently creates shows that ignite strong reactions, capturing both applause and controversy. So in this episode, we saw the real timeline of events. We saw what actually happens in their lives. So Tonkla has obviously escaped after taking revenge on Title for killing his brother Dom. So did anything happen between Tonkla and Vin in the real timeline? Or was it just Great's imagination, cause in the imagination Vin wasn't bothered about capturing Tonkla at all? Great is an absolute badass in this episode, and honestly I've always felt something was off about the previous version of his character. This Great feels way more authentic, cooler and unbothered compared to the Great from his imagination. And before anyone jumps in to question my personal morals based on my opinions about a fictional character, let's remember this is just fiction. In real life, you don't get second chances to go back and change your actions, so judging me over my views on Great is just plain silly. I legit had to block someone in my last recap video because they started getting personal with me and started questioning my ideologies because I said Korn is a better person for not holding a grudge on Great. So Great kills the suicidal woman and drives off in the original timeline. In his imagination, he let the woman live and tried to undo the accident, but it came back to bite him in the ass as the same woman then proceeded to order a hit on Great's mother and himself. I think this is a stark reminder that in his world, unlike real life, revisiting past actions can lead to even more unpredictable and dangerous outcomes. We finally get to see Time's girlfriend Nucha, who feels that in the past 2 years, Time has drifted away from her. Why is that? Is it because he's consumed by his quest for revenge over his parents' deaths, unable to focus on anything else? Or is it simply that his feelings for Nucha have changed and he's no longer as invested in their relationship? Either way, the writer cleverly highlights that Time is someone who doesn't seem to form deep attachments with his significant other, whether due to emotional baggage, his fixation on revenge, or a natural detachment in his personality. I really liked Bible's acting in this scene. The ironic laugh, the crying while laughing. He's outwardly laughing but the pain beneath is palpable. Even in this moment, his father's words reveal the true motive behind covering up the accident case. It's all about protecting the company's image, not about Great's well-being. The irony of Bible's laugh combined with his tears paints a powerful picture of a character who's grappling with the hurt of realizing his parents' priorities. It's a brilliant portrayal of someone trying to mask their pain with laughter, making the scene all the more heartbreaking and compelling. On one hand, it's clear that he feels guilty about being complicit in a literal murder. There's a sense of remorse that lingers in his expressions and actions. But on the other hand, the fact that he was brazen enough to go through with it in the first place speaks volumes about his mindset. Great's lack of accountability paired with his privileged lifestyle has made him increasingly detached from the consequences of his actions. He seemed to operate under the belief that no matter what he does to others, he can always escape unscathed, largely due to his father's powerful position and influence. Yet, despite these flaws, it's hard to label him as a purely bad person. His decision to help Title appears to have been made in a moment of panic and pressure, rather than cold-blooded malice. I think his upbringing plays a big part in his actions. The moment Time hears Great's full name at the hospital, he decides to take revenge on his family through him. I also do think that there is a tiny bit of attraction here too. Like, would he have chosen the same path of revenge if he didn't find Great attractive? I feel for Great so much in this scene because in his imagination he wanted Time to be shy when he approached him. He wanted them to go on a date and collect vending machine stuffed toys. He wanted Time to ask for his number. He wanted to go on the glamping date and make love to him, not have a one-night stand that they did here. I'm still unsure if Time ever developed feelings for Great, but Great did, and it's so sad that Time just used him as a tool to take revenge on his family. Time isn't exactly a good person himself, and he certainly doesn't have the right to judge Great given his own actions. What Time did to Great here crosses the line into criminal behavior, and honestly, he's lucky that Great is so laid back about it. It's ironic that Time is so quick to fight against Great and his family, seemingly positioning himself as morally superior without even realizing the extent of his own parents' involvement in the gambling business. This hypocrisy underscores the complexity of his character. He's so blinded by his vendetta that he fails to see the full picture, including the flaws within his own family. Time's willingness to commit crimes while condemning Great for his mistakes makes him just as culpable, if not more so, showing that he too is driven by emotion and revenge rather than any true sense of justice. Great is so cute coming to Time's hospital and inviting him out for a date. I like his cute and chaotic mind. I like how he still hopes that Time will like him despite knowing that Time used him to take revenge on his parents. I think Time also regrets using Great because he realizes here that Great is clueless about the gambling business and he has no idea that his father is involved in anything shady. I'm glad Time comes to know this because I wanted him to feel bad about what he did to Great. It appears that Great also imagined his brother Con to be much softer and kinder person than he actually is in the real timeline. In Great's imagination, Con seemed more compassionate and gentle, but in reality, Con is far more ruthless and calculating. In this timeline, Con shows a chilling lack of remorse, especially when it comes to Nan's death. He's cold, detached, and driven by his own agenda. This stark contrast suggests that Great's perception of Con was idealized, possibly reflecting his own hopes for what kind of brother Con could be or once was. Okay, who is this new character smoking on the sofa here? Is this Fasai's dad? I don't seem to remember his face. Is this the real villain? Who is this guy? Let me know in the comments. Great's confrontation with his parents about their involvement in the gambling business mirrors the conversation they had in his imagined timeline. However, there is a crucial difference between the two scenarios. In his imagination, Great and his mother both end up dead, while in the real timeline only Great is killed by Donkla. This discrepancy raises a significant question. Why would Great imagine a scenario where his own mother is harmed, especially when he's so deeply affected by her actions? One possible explanation is that subconsciously Great harbors resentment towards his mother. Her role in the gambling business and her apparent desire for him to be involved might have created a rift between them. It's possible that Great feels betrayed not just by his father's actions but by his mother's complicity and her role in perpetuating the family's morally corrupt empire. His imagined scenario where both he and his mother are killed could symbolize his internal conflict and the guilt he feels about his mother's involvement. It might also reflect a subconscious wish for her to face consequences for her actions, or a projection of his own feelings of betrayal onto her. To be honest, I'm not expecting a traditional happy ending. What I'm hoping for is clarity in the narrative, some resolution or understanding of the character's motivations. However, given the extent of moral corruption among every single character here, I'm not holding out much hope for any kind of justice to prevail. The series has built a world where everyone is deeply flawed, and it seems unlikely that a neat justice-driven conclusion will emerge. Bye, lovelies.